Right. So I was talking to John Salley about this general type of thing. Now, I'm not very athletic. I have not been remotely close to being on a professional sports team, much less even I wrestled in high school. That was about it.
Oh, that's real.
That's it. And I played tennis for a year. But other than that, once my sophomore year came, I was like, sports is not really for me. Okay. So I can't speak on this at all.
Yeah.
But speaking to John, who was a 4-ring holder, played on a lot of phenomenal teams.
Yeah, got it.
At the highest levels, what he explained to me that I didn't know is that it doesn't matter who you are on a particular sports team. You're not talking to the owner.
And you're not going to talk to him any kind of way because he set up, you talk to your coach, and then your coach can talk to the general manager, and then the general manager can talk back to your coach, but you're not going around them to the guy. It's not happening.
Even if you're Jordan, even if you're LeBron, even if you're Kobe.
No, then they wouldn't do that.
Ever.
It's rare. I know exactly where he's going. Give it all to me, but yeah, he's right so far. Like the owner.
You're going to talk to your coach, and then you could potentially talk to the general manager.
Yeah.
But the owner, you're not talking to that guy. It doesn't matter how big you are on that particular team. He's looking at it at a much higher level.
Yeah.
Not only am I looking at this particular team with all these different players and all these millions or hundreds of millions of dollars that I'm spending, but I'm also looking at it 10, 20 years into the future about where it's going, where all you guys are not even going to be here anymore.
Preach.
So the level that you're playing at as an individual player, you have so little say, regardless of who you are. And if you're not at the very top of that pile, you really have essentially no say at all.
I love it.
As someone who played professional sports, is that accurate?
I hear no lies. I see no lies, as they say. Look, we just had this conversation today. People need to understand the difference between money and power. Like Scarface tried to show us in the movies, and Scarface the rapper tried to rap about it. But the real is, you could get a big-ass check in the NFL, of course. The owner's going to get a bigger one. So big bank takes little bank in that conversation. You're already going to lose to the owner if you guys butt heads. So don't butt heads with him because he's going to win. All right, so let's talk about, I'm the biggest of all these players, so I got the most say-so. Yeah, but do you have power? You have a voice that is being heard, but it doesn't land to the same level as not only the owner, but those he employs to do the job for him. People got to understand, to become an owner of an NFL team, one, you got to have some billions.
Liquid.
Not just about,
you can't be worth $1 billion. Jay-Z may be worth $1 billion, but he can't come up with that money if his life depended on it.
Man, they not talking about
if they kidnapped Blue Ivy and they said we need $1 billion today,
you leave Jay alone. I forgot.
Jay wouldn't be able to come up with that. He would have to sell his liquor company. He would have to sell Rock Nation. He'd have to sell his whole catalog.
Yeah.
It's going to be a minute before he comes up with all that.
People don't know that level of wealth is a whole different animal. And you're right in terms of being liquid versus just having that as an asset. You're not going to Ameritrade or something crazy. You just slang it all. But first is that. And then once you talk about owners qualifying in terms of the financial sense, they have so many other businesses that this becomes the hobby. Guess what? I'm not going to be annoyed by a hobby. If someone is messing with my valuation of something that's supposed to do this,
no, you're right.
For whatever reason, we got a conversation to have. My biggest thing with Cap was just like, dog, when you had that power, I wish he had that enlightenment. He had some level of power. Super Bowl appearance. Dude took over the world. He was a sensation, kissing his bicep. He was the man. I wish he had the enlightenment at that moment because it would have been a real power play to see how he flexed then. But he wasn't on that then. I'm not mad at it. But when he did it, it wasn't at an opportune time to all of a sudden dictate terms. He found out the hard way where a lot of veterans, and it was crazy, you got called all kind of names for just telling the dude how the game goes, which he already knew, which was kind of just weird to see it all. It was really perplexing to see all of this is happening when we already know how it goes. So, man, I mean, he had his chance to even come after all of that, after suing the league, after all of the statements and back and forth, there was still a moment of truth where I don't know if he would have showed up to the NFL's workout with 29 other teams. There was something that worked out. But once they saw beyond the performance, beyond the ability, that there was still a reluctance to kind of do it the NFL way. And people always take that as, they telling you what to do. Last time I checked, when you go to work, if you don't own that thing, you are doing some part of what they want you to do. Whatever that's a lot or a little, you are applying yourself to their way as well.